WHBR, the Highland Park, WBID 107.3 FM show, Amalia, Virgin Islands. The views and opinions expressed on the following show are not necessarily the views and opinions of WHBS, its affiliates, management, or sponsors.
Excellent Graphic Design provides agency quality professional graphic design services from established companies to students and individuals, creating a simple logo to complete rebranding and delivering visual communications to print media. Everything Excellent Graphic Design does has a single unified objective to set your business apart. We are at your service. Call 313-342-2166. That's 313-342-2166 or online at www.slsgraphicdesigns.com. Come check out the new Scriptural hair bling and natural hair care salon located at 18070 Mount Elliott Street. Our new salon station with active parking, Wi-Fi, and all brand new state-of-the-art salon equipment. Come meet your local hair braiders and natural hair care specialists. And check out our many hair services such as hair treatment, box braids, cornrows, tree braids, cabana children's braids, natural splits, lock extensions, kinky twists, goddess locks, updos, wool weave, and more. Please feel free to visit us on the web at www.sistersbraids.com or call 313-826-0498. Here at Sisters Braids, we offer exceptional care for exceptional hair. We look forward to seeing you. Sisters Braids, too, is a proud recipient of the Women and Rebuilding Fund.
Now you can watch WHBR TV 33 on Fire Stick. Catch all of your favorites. Stay informed. Don't miss a minute of your favorite talk show. Call, text, tweet, post. WHBR TV 33 is worldwide on Fire Stick. For more information, go to FirestickTVNetwork.com or call us at 313-868-6612. WHBR TV 33 of Watkins Broadcasting Company. We would like to invite you to help support the efforts of the Unity and Rebuilding Fund. Visit the website at www.unityandrebuildingfund.com. That's www.unityandrebuildingfund.com. We often hear how we need to work together to rebuild things, and we're actually doing it. You can make online donations and click on links to start the progress of the Unity and Rebuilding Fund. And for more information, 313-868-0000 with a local number. Again, 313-868-0000. Support the Unity and Rebuilding Fund. You're watching WHBS, Highland Park, Detroit. FM 88.1 WHBR, the Highland Park, WBID 107.3 FM show, Amalia, Virgin Islands. The views and opinions expressed on the following show are not necessarily the views and opinions of WHBS, its affiliates, management, or sponsors. Brothers and sisters, are you tired of reading the Holy Scriptures and not really understanding what you read? And if you're reasonably sure you have tested that what you feel you know with someone that has a different view than your own, then let's talk with one another. Then let's reason with one another on a scriptural discussion with the Son of Man every Wednesday at 9 p.m., Friday at 9 p.m.
This conference is being recorded. Recording has started.
But TV Detroit Live, 88.1 FM, WHBR, why don't you call and discuss the Holy Bible, and if you have one, the Holy Quran, and come to an agreement about the Holy Scriptures and their true meaning. You can call in live on the air at area code 313-868-4336, 313-868-0342, or 313-868-0351. That's 313-868-4336, 313-868-0342, or 313-868-0351. And now, let's go live with a scriptural discussion with the Son of Man.
the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Most Merciful, the Truthful, and the Most Just. I greet all of you who have the hunger and thirst for the righteousness of Allah. I greet you all with the greeting words of peace. May Allah's salam alaikum. I'm going to bypass my normal invitation to those who disagree with me and just tell you to hold your disagreement until after my special guest and I have finished our discourse. This is a kind of, if I seem a little nervous to you, it's because I've been knowing this brother all my life, my adult life. I met him when I was 22, and he's kind of like Brother Donald to me, but only even more so because he was the minister who was over the West Coast region that I came in the temple under, and I've told you so much about. This Minister Abdul Karim, and he and I have been in communication with each other through the years. As many of you, well, some of you that are sitting here have met him, and we are very honored to have him to come in with us tonight. I don't know how long he'll be able to stay, but as long as he can stay, we're going to hold him in here. And I want to, for those of you who don't know about him, I'm going to let some of the tapes from the Theology of Time introduce him for me.
He is called Elijah in the book of Malachi. In the Revelation, he is called the Lamb without spot nor blemish. In the book of Quran, he is called Muhammad. We said that off a reason. This great man has been honored. I would like to welcome each and every one of you to the afternoon to see, listen, and hear this great man of God. But before I do in the prayer, we have some of Messengers Elijah Muhammad ministers. And the Prophet Isaiah and the Prophet Isaac called his ministers afraid of burning the fire. We know a food is that it shoots out from the fire. We know that. Now the fire is already Elijah Muhammad. And the
74.
and the flames are the ministers of the Lord of Elijah Muhammad. And it is called fear. And you know, you're a flame shoot. That flame can start another fire. And if you go left now, it's going to tell you that a minister, called working minister. He was on the west coast, Mr. Muhammad, I tell you something, the east coast, Mr. Muhammad, told him that the east coast to the west coast. And he has started the fire on the west coast. And Brother Barnabas and Brother Minister, our spiritual reading from Muhammad, second number 27, Los Angeles, California.
God, who came to us in the person of Master Farad Muhammad, to whom praises are due forever. We thank Allah for raising from among us a rejected and downtrodden people, a messenger to lead us, teach us, and guide us into that which we have not known. This beloved messenger, we, the black man and black woman of America, Philadelphia, Atlanta, Georgia, Miami, Florida, Detroit, Michigan, and Austin, California. I was there. All praise to Allah. When the Honorable Muhammad received his mission in 1931 by the will and the desire of his God who came in the person of Master Farad Muhammad, I was not there then, but I am here now. Thank you, Muhammad, and thank God. All praise to Allah. At that time, when the Honorable Muhammad received his mission, he proclaimed to the world that we, the mental dead, the mental blind, deaf and dumb people, we're not Negroes, niggers, and colored people, but we were descended from the Asiatic black man. When he made this statement, he despised the scholars of the world. When he made that statement, he despised the historical writers of the world. When he made that statement, he despised what the scientists had wrote, what the educators and the learned and the unlearned had wrote, and so it's from mouth to mouth that we were Negroes, that Muhammad despised them by saying we were not Negroes, niggas, and colored people because he is a truthful messenger, and most surely is the finest one against all good. All praise to Allah. Sisters and brothers, at that time, 1931, no Negro, so-called, in the darkness of North America knew that, nor thought that, nor after hearing that, did they come to help the Honorable Elijah Muhammad establish the fact, establish this truth that we now know and accept. No one came to help him. No one stood beside him at that time but the God that had taught him. Isaiah the prophet wrote of this time in the life of Muhammad, many hundreds and thousands of years, even before Muhammad had been born. He wrote, and I wrote, and there was none to help. We bear witness. When we read the history of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, we bear witness that when he made this proclamation to the world, no one helped. No one came and stood beside him to help him establish that truth. No one came. What was Muhammad dismayed? What was Muhammad weakened because no one came to help him establish that Lord in truth? No, it was not. Why? Because it is written again in Isaiah that God will help him. According to Isaiah, he said, the God speaking to his messenger, he said, fear not, for I am with thee. Be not dismayed, for I am thy God. I will strengthen thee, yea, I will uphold thee with the right hand of my righteousness. This is what strengthened the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, the promise from his God, that if you both said that the mighty angel of truth, I will back you up. And this is the truth that this God has backed up Muhammad, because he is here, only today in the life of When we hear Muhammad this afternoon, we will be listening to a complete man. We will be listening to a student man. We will be listening to a college and reform man. We will be listening this afternoon to a man completed, finished, college, and reformed by none other than the divine supreme being himself. We who follow him, in my conclusion, we know him to be not only a messenger of Allah, but we know him to be an apostle, a philosopher, an orator, a legislator, a counselor, a warrior, a counselor of ideas, and the restorer of one's vision. Is there any man good greater than he? Is there any man among us that can stand up and say that there are all of these things combined and more within one man? But here's the man that has been polished and refinished by God himself. Therefore, when Muhammad come, when he visited us today, we all can stand and in one voice, with one mind, we can declare as we walk through this door that here, behold, comes the Lamb of God.
And so, you know, I have quite a bit more that I wanted to let you hear from him before you hear him in here tonight. But he's on a pretty tight timetable. And so I want to without any further delay, I want to introduce you to the minister that helped raise me from the dead. And that's Minister Abdul Karim. And now he is Imam Abdul Karim Hasan. And I want you to, Brother Minister and Brother Imam, please press *6 on your phone and unmute your phone. And I want to introduce you to the broader community as one that helped take care of me when I was little in my knowledge and understanding. May Allah, assalamu alaikum. Press *6 on your phone, and that should unmute you. Is he there? And it's in Los Angeles. It would be 323. I can't. It sounded like someone was. Was that him? Imam Hasan? I can't hear you. If you want to, probably gonna need to check the volume on your phone, and it's okay to have it on speaker. Just tell you what, I'm gonna call your cell phone number and see if we can reconnect. Just a moment.
Join us for ride and ring back to while your party is reached. Your call has been forwarded to an automated voice message.
Okay. Imam Hasan, I can't hear you. I don't know what the situation here is with these phones. Let's did you unmute the number? Okay. He's going to unmute you here. And he may have remuted his phone by pressing *6, and that way I can. Okay. That's you all be patient with us. This is the first time he and I did this way. Tell you what, if you text me, let me see, I have one open line that I can hook you into this. If you will text me which number you're calling from. What is the number that he's calling from? I'll just a moment. Send it up here. I don't know if it's a private number, and I don't want to overstep myself here. Okay. Okay. Brother Imam, what I want you to do is just hang up, and I'm going to call you right back, and I can conference you in from this end. Oh, wait a minute. Okay, you there? May wa alaikum ala salam.
Yeah, well, it took us some time to make the connection here. Sorry that I'm late, but, you know, it's that iPhone, you know, it's kind of tricky sometimes.
That's all right. We got you now.
Well, I want to give to listening audience. I heard that tape. It goes back from fond memories. And I appreciate the introduction, your introduction, and the introduction and the tape itself. And I'm very, very instilled and strong in talking into your listening audience. And I'm happy to let them know that I feel about them the same way I felt about you ever since I first met you. So we can consider ourselves
yes, sir. I look at you as family. So is he done? It's done dropped again. Okay, all right. I remember when we first met. You was at the temple on Broadway, and y'all was getting ready for Savior's Day, and we was chartering them planes. And I think the ticket was $150, and I. Yes, sir. And I remember when we paid. I went in there and paid my money. You know, you shook my hand, and when the planes landed in Chicago, you were standing at the entrance as you come in off the tarmac, and you was greeting. I know when I saw you, you said to me, "Say, you made it, huh?" I said, "Yes, sir." And you was just always amicable and kind. And I never, you were not like the preachers that I had met. You know, I grew up in church, so you know, it was different. The Nation of Islam, I knew something was different about it, because everybody, you know, I know the messenger did the right thing by sending you out there, because, you know, I'm not a crowd follower. I ain't never been no crowd follower. I chose my friends all my life, and so he sent the right one out there. Tell us a bit. I remember you told me the story of how the messenger sent you out west, because he was looking for someone to send out there. Tell him how. Tell the believers, if you don't mind. Tell them.
No, I don't mind.
Tell them. Tell them how that conversation went between you and the messenger.
Well, we were meeting in Chicago, and brothers from the West Coast and ministers from the East Coast. We met there every month, once a month. We met to take our report in of our progress for the month, and most times we have an opportunity to stand up and read some of our reports without Muhammad, and to the other ministers that were there on what we had done for the previous month. So this particular month was a little different. We were assembled in his home, and he had several tables in there, but it was a long table. I was not sitting at the long table where the other ministers were. I was sitting at a coffee table right next to him at the head table. He was at the head table, and I was at the coffee table right next to where he was seated. And he was in a swivel chair. So when he started out the meeting with pleasantries, he said, Brother Minister, I have 10 items I would like to discuss with you on some of the needs of the community. So he reached in his pocket and he pulled out a slip of paper. And he said, well, the first thing that we should discuss is we need a minister for Los Angeles. It said, well, we haven't had one for a few months now, but we need one there. And I would like for you to help me to find a minister to send to Los Angeles. Well, everything got real quiet. No one said anything. So, all of a sudden, out of nowhere, I said, the old apostle, I said, well, I would go to Los Angeles. So he said, he swiveled around in his chair, and he says, Brother Minister, you already have 2 numbered temples. Temple number 40, temple number 41. I said, yes, sir. He said, what are you going to do with them? I said, I have 2 capable assistants that I can leave, one in each city, and they can handle it for you. He said, oh, that's good. He says, he turned around and looked at the other ministers, and he swiveled back in his chair, and he said, yes. He says, yes, you're the one. And then he says to the audience, he says, well, we have our minister for Los Angeles, so we can go to the next item. Well, I'll tell you that I was shocked that it happened that way. I didn't expect it. I didn't expect the question. I didn't expect me to respond. And most of the big ministers from the East Coast and the West Coast were there. New York and Boston, Atlanta, Georgia, and some of these other places, and including Philadelphia. So he said, come to my house tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. and I'll give you your assignment. So I went to his house that morning, but before that, when I said, dear Holy Apostle, I'll go, he quoted the Bible, Isaiah. And he said, the Lord was looking for someone to send someplace in Isaiah, and Isaiah spoke up. And Isaiah said, Lord, send me. And he said, that's exactly what you're saying now. Lord, send me. So I'm sending you. And at that moment, Everything else kind of went kind of blank for the whole rest of the meeting. I didn't hear a word that was said. But I was there the next morning at 10 a.m. He gave me my assignment, told me to come to Los Angeles. He says, and I want you, he says, to listen to me carefully. He says, I don't know what's happening out there. I hear so many different stories about what's happening out there, and it's kind of disturbed me. He said, do you have the general orders? I said, yes, sir, I do. He said, well, put the general orders in your pocket. And when you go out there, that's what you follow. You follow the general orders and the restricted law of Islam. Follow that when you get there. And he said, and on your first lecture night, which I want it to be a Friday, I want you to teach on the restricted laws of Islam that first night. And that's what I did. I did exactly what he asked me to do. I didn't teach. I stayed out there for a few days. Then I came back, made a report. He sent me back out there. But he sent me back out there with that message. Now you can teach. I wouldn't teach the first day. The first 3 days, I was just investigating. When I went back to him, he said, yes, you're the one. When you get back, teach on the restricted law of Islam. Excuse me. So I went back, and my first night, Friday night, excuse me, I taught on the restricted laws of Islam. Hold on a second.
Get you some water. You know, as much as we talk,
Yeah.
I know you need water.
Yeah, yeah, I just have to get me a little drink of water. So I'm okay now.
All right.
And the people accepted me that night, and it's been uphill ever since. And I'm thankful to Allah for allowing me to come to Los Angeles and to be here as long as I've been here. And it's longer than any other minister have been here. And Allah has blessed us to make some great progress.
You know, it's something else that I'm not, I don't think that we need to not know who we are talking to. But when you came out to the West Coast, they had what, one temple on Broadway, and was the West Side over there?
No, we didn't have anything on the West Side.
Right.
We started the West Side, and we had well, after about 1 year, we raised, let's see, you know, we had an airplane drive at the same time in 73, 72. We had an airplane drive to buy the Abdullah Muhammad airplane.
Yes, sir. But I want to go before that, because when I came in, it was just the West Side Temple. You was there already, but you had got the West Side Temple, and you had already purchased the Elks building.
Well, we purchased the Elks building in 1973.
Yes, sir.
The same year that we had the fundraising drive for the airplane for the Abdullah Muhammad.
Yes,
sir.
It
started in 72 and it ended in 73. We started the fundraising at the same time. We raised $128,000 for the airplane drive, and on top of that, we raised another $50,000 for the down payment on the Elk Hall.
Yes, sir.
Which was a 40,000 square foot building on Central Avenue, 4016 Central Avenue. And we took possession of it on May the 30th, 1973.
Now, I want to remind the people that the Elks building was all dilapidated and it was needed remodeling. And
yes, it did.
And this minister that I'm talking to right now, he pulled us all together, and the brotherhood got in there and made it the most beautiful building on Central.
Most beautiful building on Central.
Yes.
They call it the Shining Star on Central Avenue.
Yes.
And and the people were so happy to see it because the neighborhood was in disrepair that they all came out and watched the work going on the building. And one of the locals came out and looked at us one day from the L.A. Sentinel, the publisher of the L.A. Sentinel, and he said we looked like a bunch of ants falling off over that building. So we had scaffolds everywhere.
Yeah.
Brothers were everywhere.
And
all of them were doing something.
You remember Brother Felix? Brother Felix was in his 80s and was out there laying bricks.
He was laying bricks. He built the wall.
Yeah.
He made a compound out of it.
Yes, sir.
We named it after him. That's why Master Bilal got his name from Felix. He chose the name Felix Bilal.
Yes, sir.
And we named it after him, Master Felix Bilal.
Yes, sir. And
so
you remember, I have to let the people know how much you brought of what the messenger was teaching. You brought it off the page and put it into the reality. The good foods. We had how many fast food places?
We had seven good foods.
Yes.
We had a supermarket, and we had 7 trucks that were selling fish from door to door, and we had a tractor trailer truck, and we had a 14-footer freezer truck.
Yes, sir.
And we had a warehouse where we were baking the pies, and also a section of it was used to store goods that we would buy on the wholesale market and then sell the goods to our market at bargain price.
Yes, sir.
Didn't have to go outside of our own little setup to purchase anything from anybody. We purchased it from ourselves. And in the bakery.
Yes, sir.
We were servicing most of the prisoners inside the state prison, and we were also peeling our own. We made our own French fries. We bought a French fry making machine, a potato cutting machine.
Yes, sir.
Where we made our own French fries and sold the French fries to our own businesses. We made our own bread, sold the bread to our own fast food takeouts. We had 7 of those. We had 7 takeouts, and then we had fish and poultry markets. We had 7 fish and poultry markets.
And we didn't have none of that. That all happened in a year.
Yeah, you didn't have anything.
Don't forget the supermarket. Don't forget the supermarket. Remember, we raised that $50,000 to get that market.
Yes.
Yes.
That market was 40,000 square feet. We found out who, and it was closed down. And we went out we found out who owned it. And a company called the Boys Market used to own it, but they had closed it down because it was in the black community.
Mm-hmm.
And John, the secretary, and myself went out to his office in Pasadena and talked to them, and they agreed to let us have that market with the lease that they had on the property, and we took that lease from them with some help from them, and we were able to renovate that market in a short order.
Yes, sir.
And put our name out there on the market. Your Good Food Supermarket.
Yes, sir.
Had a grand opening, and the city councilman came, the newspaper came. It was just a marvelous thing that was done there. So we were very successful. Allah blessed us with a lot of success. And that was, and you know, another thing, when I went to make a report to the Honorable Elijah Muhammad over the hiring of brothers, we had hired 200 brothers to work into all the businesses. We were selling 40,000 Muslim journals, Muhammad Speaks, and we were also selling 250,000 pounds of fish a month, whiting H&D fish a month.
Yes, sir.
And I took the report in to Chicago along with the other ministers on the first of the month. And when I stood up and read my report, I had a one-page report. Well, he liked the one-page report. I had lists of all of the businesses that we had and the money that we were making and what we were contributing to number 2 poor treasures. And we contributed that month and the month after that to number 2 poor treasures, $100,000.
Yes, sir.
I stood up and applauded it. No other temple inside it, and no other temple represented there was bringing to Chicago that kind of finance. He stood up and applauded. He said, that's what I wanted the ministers to do, to go out there and put the people to work and make sure that whatever coins they took out of the fish's mouth, they would keep some for themselves and send some here to me in Chicago.
That's right. I mean, I wanted everybody to understand that, it don't make no difference how wise you may become. Somebody have to help you get there. And
he had good work, good people.
You see, I was, as I've told you so many times, that, when you came to visit us here, that what I'm doing, I wouldn't have been doing if I hadn't saw you doing it. And first, it's things that I never even dreamed of is what I found in the Nation of Islam. And you haven't really told it like it really is. I mean, it was something that everybody had to tip their hat to. That even the messenger, you told us once, the messenger said it looked like the sun rising from the west. And,
that's what he said.
Yes.
That's what he said. He said we shed real sunlight on the Nation of Islam in the West because it appears as if the sun was rising in the West.
Yes.
That was a historical first. And you know something? I visited you there in
Mississippi. Yes, sir.
Mississippi twice. I visited you twice.
Yes, sir.
In Mississippi. And the work that you're doing there is fantastic.
Well, I wanted you to see it. And I wanted you to, as I told you, I want you to be proud of your student.
So, it's fantastic. That was the first time I have ever in my whole life went into a repair shop, a garage, first class garage, and I take my handkerchief and wipe the floor, and there's no grease, no oil anywhere. Pick and span, a waiting room that you would find in a big office building in downtown Los Angeles, downtown New York, clean as it was, and that was made me feel so good, and I benefited so much from it. And since that time, some of the other members of this community have come down there to visit you.
Yes, sir.
And look, believe me, you're doing a tremendous work there, and all I can wish is that you keep on doing it.
Well, that's my intention. Just like you, you surprised me, told me you was 88 years old now.
I'll be 88 this year. I'm 87.
87 years old. And
when I came here, I was 40.
Well, I reckon you meant it when you say your life and your death is all for Allah. And I certainly mean that too.
Let me tell you what the Abdul Karim said about that statement that you just made. He said, and that statement comes from the Quran. He wrote a letter once to us about the Muhammad speaks. He said, "You say that your life and your death is all for Allah, but you won't give your time. You won't give your time to self one Muhammad speaks. He said you won't give your time to do other things necessary to develop this community. So to say you give your life and your death is all for Allah, and yet you won't give your time," he said, "of which one are you lying?"
That's right.
Now that was poetic.
Well, I know that is something that you all have. All of the ministers, I heard it from the major ones. As Minister Farrakhan said it a little different, but it was the same thing. As he said, the messenger said, "Brother, how can you say you will give your life for that which you will not give your time?"
Yep.
See?
The Honorable Elijah Muhammad spread it out to explain what he was talking about, so there won't be no confusion.
Yes, sir.
When he said make it plain, that's exactly what he was talking about.
Yes,
make
sir.
it plain. Explain it to people correctly and perfectly and in a way that they understand. So you come and speak their language. Their language is explaining it correctly.
There's a lot of things.
That's exactly what we did.
Yes, sir. And
still doing it.
I told you that everybody that was sitting up out there wasn't asleep. So I you know, you don't know how honored I am to just to have this conversation with you, and you know, it's no child, whether it's a mental child or a physical child, that does not seek the approval of the parent or parents that he looked up to or she looked up to. And you know, I've always, you notice, I've always came back to you from time to time and asked you to come see. And that's
and let me promise you and promise your listening audience and your followers there. I've made that promise before, but this year I'm making another promise. Health, if my health holds out and it so far is very good, I will make another visit with you this year.
Yes, I want that. And like I said, you know, don't worry about the money. You know, we will help you come here.
Well, I can get there. So, and I'll get there. So don't worry about that.
All right.
I'll get there. I won't put a burden on anybody.
You ain't no burden on nobody. Yeah. No, sir. You know, that's impossible for you to be.
I want you to know that I love you. I love your family. I love your followers there, and I especially love the things that you're doing. And all I can say is, and I have to go because I have a car waiting for me.
Yes, sir.
Keep up that good work, and I hope and pray that those that are listening to you, that those that follow your listening audience, will do more to pay attention to that scripture from the Quran. My life and my death, or as some said, my living and my dying is all for Allah. Then if that is true, then give your time as well as your good deeds for the pleasure of your God.
Well, I want to thank you and I reassure you that every one of these that love me, they love you too. So,
well, and I love this, and everyone that loves me here love you too.
I just want you to know that. All right.
We're just one family.
That's right. That's right. I mean, you know, we we may have different homes. We may, you know, even our siblings. We don't all live in the same house, but we know that we family.
Oh yeah, we don't live in the same state. That doesn't matter.
That's right.
We don't live on the same continent sometimes. We got brothers and sisters not living on the same continent, but
that's right.
Brothers.
That's
we
right.
still one family.
So I want to do this again when you have more time and when it's not so late. I know there's certain things that we won't get into right now, but I know that you know it is getting late out there, and so you go ahead and may Allah bless and keep you and all of those that you love and that love you back. May He keep you safe.
Thank you very much, Brother Muhammad, and you do the same. And
thank you. May Allah salam. May wa alaikum Allah salam. I hope you all enjoyed that as much as I did. You know, it makes you feel good when someone who taught you comes back and say, you know, you're doing it right. You know, it makes you feel good. You know, and you should always lower your wing to people as the Holy Quran teaches us this. I will let you hear it and read it yourself. So you turn to just a moment. I'll tell you what chapter in a minute. Chapter 17. In chapter 17 of the Holy Quran, and by the way, I'm going to bring, you know, some more of the brothers who showed me so much kindness in here to let you. I mean, some of y'all met Brother Bilal, didn't you? You know, those are the kind of brothers that I told you they made me feel closer to them than my own siblings, because they were always there for me. No matter what happened, they were there. They taught me what being a brother is. So, you know, chapter 17, and we're going to start at the 23rd verse. It says, and thy Lord has decreed that you serve none but him and do good to parents, if either or both of them reach old age with thee. Say not fie. Fie means, you know how, that's just another term of writing them off to hell with you, whatever. You don't know what you're talking about. You don't say that to your parents. And it says, it says, say not fie to them, nor chide them. You don't call yourself lecturing and giving your parents no lecture. And speak to them a generous word. And lower to them the wing of humility out of mercy. And say, my Lord, have mercy on them, as they brought me up when I was little. lot of times people ask me, well, how come you don't ask them to join you and follow you? If they want to join me and follow me, they know how to do that without me asking. And I don't ever want them to think that I now think that they can't, that they are nothing to me. They are something to me. What do you think was meant when we said don't go around burning bridges? So, we don't, me and him, we talk all the time. Not as much as I would like, but we do talk. When me and Brother Bilal, sometimes I call him and he called me. And we talk. Because we love each other. I don't. This is what I was trying to remind the American people of. I mean, here these people and came through hell and high water to establish this country, and now sitting up there tearing it up, doing the same foolish act that I saw happen with the Nation of Islam. Forgot that we were brothers. And instead of giving each other the benefit of the doubt, okay, brother, if that's what you think it should be, well, then let's see what you can do with what you do. But for me, I'm going to go this way. And whichever one of us strike it rich, then we come get the other. We could have just as easily did it that way. Instead of wind up hating each other. If I disagree with you, I'll tell you, no, I can't go that way. I don't believe like that. But I sure ain't going to jump on you. I sure ain't going to try to harm you. So, if some of you all couldn't hear, I thought he was pretty, it was pretty audible. You might have to strain a little, but at least you could hear. And beg your pardon? Yeah, chapter 6 and 162. Yes, sir. It's not. We don't. Says, say my prayer and my sacrifice and my life and my death are surely for Allah, the Lord of the worlds. That's what we say in our prayer. You see? That's why I can't see myself giving you no bill for nothing I do for you. I wouldn't even have it in my mind. I wouldn't even be here with you if it had not been for the truth that Allah revealed to me. Allah told us to help one another, not try to take misadvantage of each other. Ain't none of us got nothing. So I'm here to whatever little we do have. If you giving it to me, I'm certainly not going to misuse it. I'm not going to squander the little money that you give me. I'm going to use it to put some more money back in your pocket. That's what people who care about you will always do. But if all you about is making money, then you only have half a mind. Certainly you should be about making money, but you should also be about brotherhood and the things that really are important. For what is the point of having a whole bunch of money and no love in your heart for your people or for other people, period? If I had it, I guarantee you wouldn't be nobody on this planet sleeping outdoors, and wouldn't nobody be living in no scrawny house or whatnot. Everybody would have mansions. I wish I could do like that man on The Millionaire, write checks to people. I wouldn't just write a check though. I would also tell them, now look, you ain't gonna have to worry about no money. Now let's get your character straight so that your wealth don't wind up destroying you. A junkie, you do him a disservice giving him $1 million. All you doing is helping him kill himself. But give him a mind that makes him, look, let me tell you something. The more, how many times have you seen? Did you ever hear about, for instance, Einstein? Was he a winehead? Was he hooked on any kind of drug? You notice the scientists, what was his name? Stephen Hawking? Was that his name? You saw the deformity of his body. Did anybody ever say he had a drug problem? The mind, once it gets so high, once you raise a person's consciousness up so high, the last thing they would ever think about is drugging themselves or doing some of the vices and stuff that people have. You want proof of that? Remember, I told you everything that is true spiritually, it has what? A physical counterpart, huh? You get up in an airplane. If somebody tell you, look out the window there, that truck got a flat tire. You barely could see the truck, let alone the flat tire. Is that right? Because you're up too high. Matter of fact, you don't even pay attention to that, to try to look at tires and stuff on the truck because you're up too high to even do that. Likewise, the more you learn of higher knowledge, the less petty you become. It's like a parent and a child. A child is concerned with toys because the child's mind is not at the level of what's really important to an adult. Children want childish things. Adults, you insult them by asking them, do you want me to take you to Disney World? Well, I mean, really? I mean, what are you gonna tell you? Are you talking to me? You want to go to Disney World for your birthday? The baby might ask you, do you want to go for your birthday? But don't want no adult ask you nothing like that. So likewise, the more you come into Islam, What is Islam? Islam is the nature in which God creates the mind that belongs in man. Entire submission. We already have part that nature in us, but the whole mind ain't there yet. But the body is already in entire submission to the mind. That's the very nature of the human body, to submit entirely to the mind that governs it. So, it's not the body that's yet to be perfected. It's the mind that will govern the body. That's what's being brought into a state of perfection now. Perfection means completion. You see? So, as it's something I was sharing with Imam Hasan, that every time the national secretary or the minister of Muhammad's temple, of temple number 2, the Chicago minister, every time he introduced Minister Abdul Karim, he always said the same exact words. He talked about his ministers being a flame of fire. And he said, and the fire is the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And he said, when the flames shoot, they can start another fire. And even Minister Kareem didn't notice that. I mean, Imam Hassan, he didn't notice that. But I listen, as that's why the messenger knew that teaching, the theology of time, even the title of it, was designed to wake me up. Because the scripture says to all things there's a time and a what? Okay. If the scripture says that the Lord, he is God. That's what David said. Know ye that the Lord, he is God. Then it says, Jesus said, for the Son of Man is Lord of the Sabbath day. Huh? Well then, the Son of Man is the Lord of a particular time. The messenger said he was teaching on the theology, the study of God and religious truth of a particular time. Behold, I will send you Elijah the prophet before the coming of the time of the Lord. Huh? The great and dreadful day of the Lord. That's just another way of saying the time of the Lord. Huh? So Elijah came and he taught on the theology, the study of God and the religious truth that all prophesies of the Lord himself, of the Lord of time, of a particular time. Huh? And now I'm here. And I shall not forget those who helped me to get where I am. You see? one of the things that we are reminded that man is ungrateful. Huh? That's because man's mind is incomplete. You got to have some sense to be thankful for help that people give you. But when you so self-absorbed that you start taking credit for what you didn't do, well, then you don't owe nobody no thank you for nothing. In your mind. Why? Because you did all that. Right? Well, I know I didn't do everything. I don't forget that. You know, you hear me all the time tell you, my followers helped me do this. They the one gave me the money to do this. You know, I mean, so ain't no sense in coming up to me. If you thanking me, you thanking my followers. Because every one of them sacrificing to help me to do this for you. So, and I don't forget that. The minute you forget that you ain't out in space there, you know, if you flying, you pushing off or something. There's some wind up under you. Is that right? You don't call it flying when you in space. So now that I'm you know, I've let you hear from one of our founding fathers. I'm pretty sure that if any wise Caucasian had a chance to talk with George Washington or Thomas Jefferson or whatnot, they'd have been just as giddy as I was talking to one of the founding fathers of your nation. Just think how much he can share with us about conversations that he had. Now, I knew, you know, see, that's one way you can, that, you know, I knew he wasn't lying because he told me this way back. And when he recounted the story again, he said the same thing. I never considered him a liar. No. You know, could no liar have come out there and followed the program that the messenger, his name that the messenger gave him, even the way he gave it to him, has meanings both ways. Abdul Karim, it just means honorable, but Karim means honorable. Abdul means servant. Abdul Karim, servant, honorable. Well, I know that was the messenger's message, that he was the servant of the honorable Elijah Muhammad. That's why the messenger told him, he said, brother, you remind me of what Isaiah said when the Lord wanted to send somebody. Isaiah said, here am I, Lord, send me. Huh? And so he got out there. And then when, you know, that's reading from left to right. But when you read it from right to left, Kareem Abdul is simply honorable servant. And he never tried to say he was somebody to come after the messenger and all that kind of stuff. He didn't leave his place. Huh? And he could have, like so many other ones, but he didn't. He even gave me a warning when WD took over. I'll let you hear. What you say? Yeah, Isaiah 6 and 8. When the Lord said, "Here am I, send me." Yeah. But I'm gonna let you hear him. Him warning me, about what time it is. Just a moment.
This law is well represented in the Southland. That fulfills the scriptures of Elijah Muhammad. It said, and his ministers were the flame. And the flame going so bright, and there's no wind. We put it out before it reaches its destination. And when the flame reaches its destination, it starts another fire. I'm going to give you anything to show you a fireball from the West Coast. The West Coast. Temple number 27, Los Angeles, California. The original minister, Abdul Karim.
And every time he introduced him, he said that. Now what? Listen again.
This Islam is well represented in the Southland. That fulfills the scriptures of Elijah Muhammad. It said, and his ministers were the flame. And the flame going so bright, and there's no wind. We put it out before it reaches its destination. And when the flame reaches its destination, it starts another fire. I'm going to give you anything to show you a fireball from the West Coast. The West Coast.
Like I said, he's the one that started me. Do you understand? The messenger knew what he was doing when he sent him out there. And he remembered that he had told us. The messenger said, "Brother, it looked like the sun is rising from the west." Because all of those things, that supermarket, the bakery, all them seven, the good foods, fast food restaurants, we had our own service station. We let me see, it was so many things that we was doing out there, and it was all happening in 1 year under Imam Hasan, Minister Abdul Karim at that time. And so the messenger once, I forgot to ask him about what Willie said, that the messenger had said that Minister Kareem had told Willie that the messenger had said that Allah had worked right there on that fish group. So it's a lot of things that that was going on that I didn't know because I was dead. But the messenger, Allah and his messenger, was right on time to make sure that I get life. And that's exactly what happened. And then I had to grow. And this is where what you're going to hear him say on there. You remember the messenger said, "You will no more go up to Jerusalem or to the temple." He said, because you will be a temple yourself. You remember he said that? Well, that helped push me out. what he said. For the messenger had said that the nation was going to go down to almost nothing. Well, if the nation was going to go down to almost nothing, well, then the messenger also said, once he was teaching, and he said, where's that skirt that I told you? Next thing you know, he came back to it and said, he said, brother, when I say a thing, my followers go and do that thing. So you see, they got a skirt in front of the sisters there now. And the messenger said it was going to go down. And so his followers did what was supposed to be done. Do you understand? That was the only way to, you notice, when it's time for a baby to be born, it ain't up to the woman. Allah already set it in motion that the woman's body start pushing that baby out. Is that right? They pushed me out of the nation to make me get busy with my growth and development to do what I'm supposed to do. Do you understand? The body is not conscious of anything. The head is the conscious one. The body is strictly reflexes, doing what the head commands, or whether it's conscious or unconscious. The head is regulating the affair. Do you understand? Just like when you see somebody pass out, women used to pass out from pain. That's the body, that's the head shutting down so that the body don't feel the pain so much. It's all done in the brain. To get too painful, cut it off. Huh? Yeah. So just listen to what Minister Abdul Karim said when he first started talking about a great and a dreadful day.
Name of Allah, the all-wise, the all-true and living God, who came to us in the person of Master Farad Muhammad, to whom praise and due We thank Allah, the great God of the universe, for coming to this first part of the planet Earth and searching, finding, and raising up from among us a divine and holy counsel in the person of the most honorable and humble Elijah Muhammad. Brothers and sisters, we are living in a very, very great day and a very, very dreadful day. It is a great day if we understand what's taking place today, and it is a dreadful day if we fail to understand.
See? We was at the day that was great and dreadful, because the thing that was dreaded was the fall of the nation. If you don't understand, that's just like when Jesus made the statement. He said to Peter and them that the Son of Man shall be delivered into the hands of sinful men and shall be, and Peter said, Lord, I ain't gonna let that happen to you. Jesus said, get out the way, Satan. Get thee behind me. You talking about you ain't gonna let something happen that God done said gonna happen? How did that work out for anybody that ever tried to do that? If Allah say a thing is going to take place, I remember the messenger said, it wasn't so much that he was explaining scripture, because the 140 and 4,000 wasn't even talking about the people out there in the street. It was talking about the angels who would be with me. But he said the Bible prophesies of 144,000. He said, we would like to beat the old prophet's prediction, but you just can't make liars out of the prophets. What they say, that's just what it is. Huh? You see? Then people say, well, I thought we was done honoring her. Yeah, I know you thought you was. But now you know you wasn't. Your number is where the book says, I beheld another number that no man could number. You see? Standing on a sea of glass. Standing in the peace of Islam. That's right. When the sea so calm that it looked like glass, then now you know you're standing in Islam. Huh? Well, I'll pray that's all of the people of the earth, all humanity for all time. That's why when white people used to ask the messenger, could they join with him? He said, nope. And then they'd ask him, well, you mean ain't none of us gonna make? He said, well, you know, that was, if you read the history of Moses, some of the Egyptians went out with Moses. He said, but he said, now this don't mean that all white people going to be killed. He said, there's some going to be around here for another 1,000 years. He said, but, you know, but he didn't go so far with those things because he knew that it wasn't time. But right before it came time for his departure, because he knew I was awake and he knew that his time to be on that post was done. And so he made sure that he left me the right knowledge to help me to grow and not be corrupted. So he said, he reminded and he showed me that it wasn't what I was thinking. White skin don't make a person a devil. And as he said, we want to thank the Chicago white people for selling us the country club. He said, for making it possible for us to get in such position where we could prove ourselves worthy of such position. He said, we thank them. They have did us a great favor. I don't think we have nothing to do but to honor and respect them for putting us in such position. And he didn't leave it there. He said, this is their house. The building that he was speaking in. He said, it's theirs. This is their house. And we are here teaching the truth. They are not objecting to you teaching the truth. As we have white Muslims in America. And lots of them. Well, what that did to everybody that was thinking that, well, wait a minute. Thought white people couldn't be Muslim. Well, You remember he said there's, I could tell you some things wouldn't make you feel so good. But I want you to feel good while I'm teaching you. But he was about to quit teaching you. He said this, he said, these men are not here just to see you trying to be Muslim. They are here wanting to know whether or not that you are a Muslim at heart. So I'm about to discontinue this moral teaching that I have been doing for the past 2-3 hours. And we're going home, and the laborers will do what they know to do. Huh? That goes deeper than it sounded too. He wasn't just talking about that meeting. He was talking about the laborers, as he told them, one day I will die, and then you will be able to do what you know how to do. And didn't take no time to dismantle the Nation of Islam. They dismantled it. The only thing that they could not dismantle was that foundation that the messenger laid in his teachings. And that's what I'm building on. Do you understand? He knew I would come and build on that foundation after all the stuff got out the way. See, most of them left the foundation, left it, because they was just there as a farm for it. Do you understand? And so then it was dismantled and it went down to nothing but the foundation. And you see, when people try to come in here and corrupt the foundation and try to say something that the messenger didn't say, I'm always there to correct them. Huh? Talking about the messenger said something that he didn't say. I say, hell, he didn't say that. So, like brothers talking about, the messenger said white folk can't be saved. No, he did not say that. The messenger said, when he was asked about the devil, that the scientists have agreed that the devil is disagreeable to live with in peace. Do you understand? And so the only reason you thought that meant that white folk couldn't be saved was because you thought white skin and white flesh was devil. And white flesh ain't devil. The mind that we put in white flesh is devil. And that's true of every other thing that man becomes. Man becomes the reflection of the mind that's in him. Do you understand? We made them devils by putting that mind in them that they have. And we told them that curse was going to be on them until the day of resurrection. Why? If by Adam all people died because Adam had dominion, then Adam going to take everybody into misunderstanding. And the man that wanders out of the way of understanding shall remain in the graveyard. Is that right? Okay. Well, now you in the day of resurrection. I am the resurrection. Because I'm the word in the flesh. You couldn't understand the word in the book. So the word in the book had to be put in somebody. Prepare me a body. What kind of body did it need to be? It need to be a body that is almost on remote control to serve. Well, we got so used to serving that we started saying we just want a good master. We don't want independence no more. We just want to live here and to get along. Is that right? Yeah. We ain't mad at nobody, huh? But each other. We find something to be mad at each other about, don't we? I don't care how much good you do for us. If you black, we find something that you didn't do. And we harp on that. Huh? And if you white, we don't care how much bad you done to us. We find something good that you did and we harp on that. And that's because you was a homeborn slave. And the root of that is you so scared of white people that you take anything off of them that they do to you. Because you, in your mind, you think he God. I'm proving to you he ain't. And proving to him that he ain't. I'm the Lord. And I'm so thankful that I had tutors that helped me to realize that. Your idea of Lord is a whole different thing than what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the knowledge and understanding that I'm possessed of. There is none with greater knowledge and understanding. Then that makes me the one that has the last word. And so I'm offering salvation to everybody. Brother Tamai, I just can't go along with him saving white. What business is that of yours? You ought to be thankful I'm saving you. If I want to give them salvation, that show you how much more just in my mind I am than you. You pretend that you understood the teachings. Then you should have understood that the white man is the devil because black people made him that. Then why should he be punished for being what you made him? What's wrong? What's all that? Oh. Why would you punish any creature if he's what you made him? And you call yourself just? You know better than the devil. It's just what they've been doing to us. They made a fool out of us and then beat us down and shoot us down for acting the fool that they made us. And you say that's very unjust. Well, if you believe that's unjust, why would you turn around and do that to him? The messenger told me that. He said, if you say there goes the devil, then don't try patterning yourself after the devil. Don't use him as your role model. Show the devil that you are a righteous person because he's watching you for such. And if you say he's not righteous, he will say to you, I was not my maker. And that'll stop your mouth if you had any sense. He said they did not make themselves. That is for sure. It was our kind that made them. So if you want to go and make mockery of that which you made, he could easily tell you, you made me yourself. What you jumping on me for? Huh? So don't get mad with them for what by nature you put in him. Don't blame them. Blame yourself for putting it in him. I didn't hear you. See, he was talking to me. See, you didn't understand. That flew right past you. That's why you still running around here talking about, I ain't thinking about these white folks. They can't be saved. That show you how little you understood. Even some of them, when they was running around here lynching and doing all kind of evil to us, some of them came and said, I'm not going to help you do that to these people. I got to put a stop to this. We got to stop this. You mean the devil got more compassion in his heart than you? And you calling yourself God? No, you ain't God. You ain't the most merciful. No, you're not. I didn't hear you. Enough about that lying talking about you believe in Islam. You see, I'm still doing what I said I believe in. I didn't just follow the messenger when he said something that I was in total agreement with. I followed him even when he said something I didn't understand. It's just like brother got mad because I said, well, ain't no life on these planets out here. The messenger was asked about, is there life on other planets? And one time he said, I don't know, brother. He didn't teach me about other planets. He was teaching me about what's on this one. Huh? So when the messenger said, people on Mars, think over that. He said, and they're not white people. They are our people. I understood that to mean prophecy. You understood it to mean right now. Well, me and you disagree on that. And I think my disagreement make more sense than yours. Because if it meant now, then why would he have said he didn't teach him nothing about that at one point, and then later on come back and say about people on Mars? Huh? So I'm not a person who just listen and hear what I want to hear. I hear what's said. And I know one thing that's impossible for prophets to do. They can't lie. You see? So as I said, it makes more sense to me. It's just like a parent. What parent takes their immature child? Do you know you can get thrown in jail for putting a child out on the street, putting them out while they still a minor, while they don't really not able to fend for themselves, can't make contracts with nobody and whatnot. You're responsible for them. Now, they may not put you in jail, but they sure will take them from you. Huh? They ain't gonna send the child back to that home, because that ain't no home. Is that right? Well, why would Almighty God take a people with half a mind and start filling the universe with them kind of people? Why? What would that? You talk about a hell house. Don't it make sense to eradicate sin before you start populating the universe with it? See? No, but that don't make no sense to you, because you wants to make a lie out of me, because you really don't want to be righteous, boy. I know what your problem is. Being righteous don't mean holier than thou. It simply means I don't need your drugs. I don't need your alcohol. I don't need none of this stuff that you use to destroy the brain. I need my temple to be ready to receive truth and to be able to analyze the truth and let the truth guide me to the truth. Can't do that if my mind or my brain all scattered with drugs. These people so messed up. For instance, I was listening to them trying to get Joe Biden to apologize for being a caring human being. Talking about some woman he made him feel uncomfortable. Well, why didn't you be woman enough to just tell him, no, you don't, I don't need no hug or whatever. That man wasn't hitting on her. People come up to me all the time hugging on me. I don't need your hug if you don't want to give me no hug. I don't even need you up in my face. If that's how you feel, behold, you are they that will love them while they love you not. First time I ever had brothers hug me was when I went into the Nation of Islam. My own siblings never hugged me. I couldn't believe these people were showing more care about me. I'm not talking about nobody lusting. Brothers would give their life for you. And you find fault with that? Crazy folks, ain't it? The Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught us to love one another. You would have thought all of us was related the way you saw us interact with each other. Brothers run up and hug each other and stand there and hug each other. The man ain't seen you since last Tuesday or whatever. My own siblings hadn't seen me since they was, really. And they didn't hardly hug me. So I wasn't lying when I told the FOI that I had never experienced the kind of brotherly love that I experienced coming into Muhammad's temple. And I will never give it up. If Allah let me live and stay in my right mind, I sure ain't gonna walk away from that. Sure. I don't even like shaking hands hardly no more. I'd rather embrace my brother. But y'all went crazy. Anyway, look, don't ever feel ashamed to care about other human beings. You have nothing to feel ashamed of. That's just Allah have proved your heart and sealed you with his love. That's all. in a world full of hateful people. You got a heart full of love. Allah put that there. That don't mean we stupid. But it does mean that we are human. And without being humane, you don't have the right to claim to be human. So I want you to, those of you in other parts of the earth that's part of the human family, don't ever be ashamed to feel compassion for your family. Be ashamed not to. You understand? If people won't let you be kind because they want to fight and they want to do all of this, if you can walk away from them, just walk away. If you cannot help human beings, just leave them alone. You understand? So, yes, don't ever, don't ever deprive people of the freedoms that you want to enjoy. No, don't do that. You enjoy the freedom of choosing your friends, don't you? Well, give other people that same freedom, knowing that you're not nobody's keeper but your own. How you gonna know what's in somebody if you don't let them have the freedom to show you what's in them? I didn't hear you. You got to give people the freedom to show you what's really in their heart. You can tell what's in a man's heart by what you see him going after. Huh? Well, if you deprive him of his freedom, then you're not going to be able to see what he's going after. So, it's the old saying, you're not so much as attracted to what you want. You are attracted to what you are. Huh? There you go. So I'm still thinking about my big brother that was just in here. And I remember he always had a smile, just like brother Belial, brother Andrew. I never saw him and he didn't have a warm, sincere smile to see me. And he always made me feel better. Because sometimes I was just going through it, man. And I'd look up and see him. And he'd say something and make me laugh or whatever. Say, you looking like you done lost your last friend. Come on in here. and he'd always uplifted my spirits. And Brother Donald, always laid back, calm, always. You know, he never, even when I was doing something I hadn't been or whatever, thinking the wrong way. Brother Donald always never no drama. Yeah, I mean, it was always just calm. You know, he'd say he'd almost he spoke almost in it. You heard him speak when he was up here. So that's him. You know, just a low, moderate, and I always admired that. You know, but the job that I have requires something more than moderate. You know, I mean, that's just the way I am. The book said, "The Lord shall descend not with a whisper, but with a shout." so I'm not. You know, I've never been a person who just tried to become somebody else. But I always had sense enough when I saw something in other people that I admired, I tried to incorporate it into my own character. Do you understand? You know. But as far as, it's just like, I love the messenger, but I know I'm not him. I mean, I'm not trying to be him. He told me to be myself. And he said, yourself is a righteous Muslim. See? And I found that as you be yourself, you ain't got to even be conscious of it. You ain't even got to be thinking about it when somebody come around on how to be. Just be you. Huh? Even got a song say, I gotta be me. Huh? Gotta be me. Yeah. Just be you. And the rough edges, if you pay attention, you be my follower. Be a Muslim. And whatever rough edge I see on you, I'll get it off. You like yourself even more. Yeah. The messenger told you that. He said, as you come into Islam, he said, you're a very beautiful people that has been marred and spoiled. But once you come into Islam, Allah will gradually restore your beauty appearance. That's right. Beautiful is actually in your deeds and actions. That's what makes a person beautiful. Most people think beauty is what you see with the physical form of a person. But you're going to discover the more you take on the attributes of Allah, righteousness, people that you may have thought wasn't so good looking or wasn't so, all of a sudden you start seeing the real person and they actually change right in front of you. You start seeing the real beauty that's really there. So, a lot of times people, they don't realize how vain that is. I tell you what, next time you see a bunch of men standing in line, look at all of their faces, and you would discover how much everybody looks alike. They only look different when individual. You start like leaves. You look at leaves on a tree and they all look alike. Then you study them real close, then they look different to you. But they're all the same, basically. They're just leaves. What makes some stand out more than others is their character. Do you understand? Then you find out what your character is by what you are attracted to. Do you understand? Yeah. So this is these are the things that as you grow and you learn, you start, as you get up higher and higher. Can't nobody corrupt you. They won't be able to corrupt you. No train of thought will be able to corrupt you because you feel too dignified to do what that train of thought would tell you to do. Do you understand? You see? So it's all about what you have in your head. And all you have to do is keep coming to class, and you will see you are changing. You are being changed while I'm teaching. To change a person, you must change what they think. As you change what a person thinks, you are changing the whole person. So it's written in the 15th chapter of 1 Corinthians. It says, and I want you to go to the, this is the 50th verse. I remember as Minister Abdul Karim was teaching once, and he was he made the statement, this was right during the time that the messenger had passed, but we didn't know it. And he was, pretty ill. And the minister said, he looked out there and looked like he was looking right at me. And he said, kings and queens inherit thrones. It is not so with gods. You see, it's just like what Brother Donald said to me when he first introduced me to Message to the Black Man and whatnot. He had gave me the book, and we was walking across the street to my gate talking, and he said in his low tone of voice, he waited a long time for this. And I heard what he said, and somehow I knew that he meant the Honorable Elijah Muhammad had waited a long time for me. But I never asked him what he meant by that. And he don't even remember saying it. But Allah speaks to me through whoever he pleases. And he, plenty times, I hear his voice come to me. It's like the messenger said. He said, he still speaks to me. Right directly the word come to my ear like a word from you. He said, not by seeing him in person, not by word alone, but just by hints. And I have learned those hints, you know. And so, you know, people, you know, Allah is all and in all. There's no place that you can go that the truth ain't there waiting on you, whether it's in somebody or in something or whatever. The truth is there. Allah is the subtle. Truth is subtle. Opportunity, but they say opportunity just knocks. If you don't answer, it passes you by. Is that right? Allah is the subtle, and he is the knower of subtleties. Do you understand? There again, the best knower. You see, where some people look at a thing and and all they see is the thing. Some people look at a thing and get inspired. Huh? Some man looked at the man doing like this with his arm, and all he saw was a man waving his arm. A mechanical engineer looked at it and saw what a bulldozer could do, what a backhoe could do. Huh? That's all our body is. It's a hydraulic system. So, you know, there's I told all of you that one day you was going to kick yourself for hating me when you really find out. I don't hate none of y'all. I just want to see everybody living good. I don't know what you hate me for. I understand. Well, I put it like this. I understand why you hate me. But when I say I don't know what you hate me for, that's me trying to put something on your mind to get you to ask yourself, well, what have the Son of Man done to me other than try to enlighten my mind? I'm not them people who messed you over. I didn't come to you and try to rob you. I haven't stood up here and pretended just because people believe in me and whatnot, and then I try to take misadvantage of them, telling you some 19th galaxy off somewhere. Pretending to take cancer out of people and all that foolishness. I showed you in the book what the book says about God and whatnot. The one that the word is with is called God. The one who is the most knowledgeable one of these books. The scripture referred to him as God. I haven't told you I got some magical powers. Then why would you suggest that I'm a deceiver? I haven't tried to deceive you about anything. I've tried to put a stop to people being able to deceive you. Look, who else besides me put their meetings, all of their meetings, in conference rooms and in an open forum so that anybody who disagrees can dispute with them? Who else does that while claiming that God sent them? I didn't just claim Allah sent me. I showed you in the book, Son of man, I do send thee unto them. You can't have it both ways. You can't, on the one hand, claim you believe Ezekiel was a prophet and then claim that what you read of Son of Man was talking about Ezekiel. Well, if it was all talking about Ezekiel when he was here thousands of years ago, well, then it ain't prophecy. They called Prophet Muhammad a prophet and then act like he was everything he was revealed to him was talking to him. Don't you think it's kind of strange that all these people who claim to know so much, you can't get none of them to come in here and talk to me? Don't you think that's kind of strange? I know Imam Abdul Karim Hasan well enough to know that he wouldn't have came here and then came back again if he didn't respect what I'm about. And he sure wouldn't have been in here talking to me in front of the world, not really caring who didn't like it. He has always been what you saw tonight. That's the way he has always been towards me. And that's the way the other brothers that I've brought, the Brother Donald, Brother Bilal, Brother Fatih, when he was alive, Brother Clarence. Those brothers always were like family to me. They were like big brothers to me. Some like fathers. When I needed correction, Brother Donald didn't have no problem correcting me. And I knew that it was because he cared about me. You know, that's one thing you will never hear anybody say about me that know me, is that I'm a faker. Everybody that know me know I'm sincere about what I'm doing. This ain't no joke. So I'm just thankful. I thank Allah for putting me around people that did not kill my spirit. Because I know a lot of you may have started off in church or in a synagogue or in a mosque or someplace and wanted to try to do the right thing and then got turned off by somebody who you found out was a crook. And that's why you cuss me. I know. You just don't. Most of you all haven't really even thought about all of the evil that has been done in the name of God. So, that's why I was willing to take some cussing out and all that kind of stuff from people. But everything has a limit. I mean, it gets to a point where, you really don't have a leg to stand on when you find out that I'm not going to stoop and stop putting my meeting out in the public simply because the public was cursing at me or whatever. I mean, I'm not here to get insulted so quick and so easy. I had to give you a chance to see that I'm not them people who messed you over. Let me show you something here. I'm glad they had this on. They had this on the other night. But first, I want to show you that, look, it don't make no difference how much resources you have. You still need the right people handling them resources, or you going to crash and burn. You notice every time I talk about one, pretty soon you'll see them put it back on. I want to thank them for putting this on. This is Star Trek: The Motion Picture. Now, I want you to see what happens when, well, we'll go through it. Now I'm using this for teaching aids. So don't be cutting it off talking about their copyright. I'm not doing a copyright infringement. I have the right, according to copyright laws, that I can use this as a teaching aid. Now, we in class now, so I want you to learn something from this besides being entertained by it. Now, watch what happens here.
But I still recommend further simulation study. Mr. Decker, every minute brings that object closer to Earth. Engineering, stand by for warp drive.
See now, here Captain Kirk, he done had so much experience out there with dangerous things. He knows that he needs to get out there and meet that thing so that one try at stopping it, if that don't work, he'll have time to try some more. And here this other man, Mr. Decker, he worrying about whether the ship need more testing before you ain't got no time to do no tests. Something coming powerful enough to destroy everything, and you stand up here talking about a test. Huh? We'll test it in action. Right? Now watch what happens.
Engineer, we need warp speed now. Jim, you're pushing. Your people know their jobs. That's it, sir. I can't do any better. It's borderline on the simulator, Captain. I cannot guarantee that you'll pull up. Warp drive, Scott. And warp 1 was soon. Accelerating to warp 1, sir. 4.7. 0.6.
Now, because the engines wasn't tuned like they should be, it causing them to get in trouble. Huh? But the lesson is not in the captain acting too soon. The lesson, you're going to find out soon what the lesson really is. It's just like the reason that football coaches and basketball coaches and whatnot, people talk about the winningest teams, but those who understand what's really going on, they know that the coach is the one that planned and coordinated the team and used the talents that he had on his team to win those games. Huh? You can have all the talent in the world. If it's not properly coordinated, you will lose every game. You got to know who to get the ball to. You got to know how to pass that thing around so that the right one will have it at the right time to do what needs to be done. Huh? It's called coordination. Huh? Okay. Now watch this.
Frequency cancer. Commercial light will continue 22.5 seconds before forward velocity slows the cell-light speed.
Unidentified small object has been put into the wormhole that has captured directly ahead.
Or to the hole. Synoptic on viewer. Manual override on out. No manual response, sir.
Navigation and detectives coming up, sir.
Wormhole distortion has overloaded the main power systems.
Navigation and detectives inoperative, Captain. Direction and control also inoperative.
Time to impact.
20 seconds.
Mr. Chekhov, stand by the phasers. No! Delay that phaser order! Photon torpedoes!
Now, the executive officer and Dr. McCoy, they think that they were right about what the admonishment to the captain. But what they didn't understand was the captain understood the gravity of the whole situation, while all they understood was the danger that the ship would have been in. When he was understanding that the ship is expendable, Earth is not. Do you understand? You see what he told Mr. Scott about the Indian engines being out of balance? That's the problem, and that's what created the situation. And the captain ignored that. He could have said, "Well, do your job, man," but he didn't. He simply told him that thing is 2 days away, and we need to meet it while it's still out there. Huh? Still ain't forgot that, yeah, it messed up, but our mission is to go and stop this thing. Right? See, everybody, you may think that you can lead and second guess and whatnot. But when the right man is in the captain's chair, he don't need backseat drivers. He needs people that's qualified and capable and will do the job that they are there for. Because his job is to make sure the mission is completed. Your job is to help him in whatever way he asks you. Huh? Now watch this. Say what? What you mean that's it? I ain't read nowhere where it's a time limit on how much you could show clips when you teaching. What's the story on that? Well, that wasn't but 3 minutes. What's the story on that? Well, if there's no specified limits, why are they trying to stop me from showing these clips and talking about them? What's going to happen is Mr. Spock is going to come up on a long-range shuttle and dock with the Enterprise. And when Mr. Spock gets on board and gets down there where the engine is, just that one man, he gets everything in balance and everything, and now they can do warp speed and get on out there. It's all about having the right man in the right place at the right time. See, the devil don't want me to teach you these things. See, that's the devil that put that, flash that across there. You see how the wicked watcheth the righteous? He don't want me to show you the truths that's been right out there in front of you that you didn't see before. He's like somebody running around in the daytime when the sun come up on things. He try to go and throw a sheet over it to keep you from seeing what's there. Do you understand? So you go online and look at the motion picture, Star Trek, the motion picture, and you will get these little clips off of there, and you'll see where Mr. Spock came on board and problem solved. Huh? Now you see why at the end of your prayers, you always say amen. Why? Because whatever problems you having, it's a man out there somewhere that can solve that problem for you, as long as he is a man. Why is that? The A on there stands for Allah's man. Allah is the truth. And when the truth's man show up, problem solved. Huh? There you go. So it's a whole lot of things. And I'm gonna tell you something. I wouldn't mind so much that you come in and argue with me or whatnot. But I'm gonna fix you for trying to block me from teaching people. I'm talking to the world, trying to make everybody's mind elevated at the same time. And you sitting up out there trying to figure out a way to stop me from teaching people. I'm gonna fix you. From this point on, you won't be sleeping well at night. I'm gonna fix you. I don't care how many pills you take. Yeah. So, yeah, that's my orders for you. Whoever it was that flashed that. Now flash that. You ungrateful wretch. Yes, sir.
Just so it's clear, and at least in my mind, I can speak for everybody else. Could you just kind of go just back over that real quick as to what happened?
Well, what happens? What happened is after that, Mr. Spock will come in on a long range shuttle. They'll get a notice that it's a shuttle coming in, and because they had to temporarily stop because they got a message that it's a shuttle coming in, and the captain said, "Well, what kind?" He said, "Well, it's just official and non-belligerent." He says, "But," he said, "Well, stop and let them come on." And then when they found out when it does dock with the Enterprise, Mr. Chekhov was there to see what it was, and Mr. Spock was standing there, and Spock asked him in his normal unemotional tone, "Permission to come aboard, sir." And Chekhov said, "Granted, sir." And before he could get granted out of his mouth, Mr. Spock just walked right by him and didn't, wasn't no warm greeting or nothing like that. So he walked on there and went to the bridge where the captain was. And once he got off the turbo lift and came on to the bridge, the captain looked up and with a great surprise on his face, "Spock." And he, and Mr. Spock said, "I've been monitoring your communications, and I offer my services as first officer. And I mean, as a science officer." And he looked over at Mr. Decker, who was he was being first officer and science officer, and asked Mr. Decker, "May I?" And Mr. Decker said, yes, I know of your qualifications." He got on out the way, and Mr. Spock, the captain said, log him in as science officer, and he was still in amazement that Spock was there, and Spock wasn't smiling or nothing at nobody, didn't give nobody else the greeting. They was all excited, but he wasn't. And he told him, he said, I did some computations, and if I may, I would like to go to engineering. He went to engineering and started fixing a problem down there. Next thing you know, he was ready to warp on out of there. And the captain, after he got to warp 5, warp 6, warp 7, and Mr. Let me say it was Mr. Chekhov. He did one of them numbers, and the captain looked over there at him and winked at him, as good as to say, "Now I got my team here." And so, and they went on and took care of their business. But it was all about, see, you didn't need nothing outside of the ship. Just needed the people with the right knowledge. You see, and when you have people with the right knowledge, that's part of being a captain. That's part of being in charge. It's knowing who the right person is for the job that needs to be done. And then putting them in there and getting out of the way and let them do it. People who think they need to micromanage everything, they have small minds. And that's why, you cannot be a good leader if you cannot trust your own judgment. When a leader puts someone in charge of something, why would you put them in charge of that if you don't trust them to be able to do the job? And if you trust them to be able to do the job, then you don't have to worry about that now, because you've already put someone there that made you not have to worry about it. Do you understand? All right, then. So, see, I look at these people. Now, these small-minded people that think they can stop me. The messenger said, regardless to him trailing us to make it hard for us. He said the Indian and the buffalo trailed him, but that didn't stop him from opening up a great country like this. You see, they tell me, they sit up there and tell that lie that ain't but, how many people they say looking at us now? 65 people. Well, if ain't but 65 people looking at us, what are you worrying about what I'm playing, what clip I'm playing? Why is that such a worry to him? Lying devils. Anyway, you're going to get what you got coming. I know you don't believe it. Pharaoh didn't believe it either. I know you don't realize it, but you the one that book is talking about, Pharaoh. Ain't there been nobody in Egypt over there enslaved and no Pharaoh drowned in no Red Sea? You're the one drowning. That's why your mind coming and going. You notice more and more people losing their mind. You don't see that. Drowning in their own blood. Huh? Drowning in the Red Sea. Ain't that something? Anyway, there's much that you need to know, black brother and sister. And a lot of people say, he's just talking to black people. Everybody's black people. What color in the rainbow ain't sunlight? I'll shut your mouth. Did that shut it? Anyway, I want you to know that I'm here for your salvation. And soon all of those that hate me, matter of fact, it's being done now. Okay. They're being slain. It's written, bring all those mine enemies that would not that I should reign over them and slay them before me. Huh? That's what these people losing their minds about. Now, so when Imam Hasan, when Minister Abdul Karim said that kings and queens inherit thrones and it is not so with gods, that's right here in the book. You know, God is a mind. The brain is a throne upon which knowledge sits, but you can't inherit a brain. You know, just because your daddy was a genius, that don't mean you as his son or daughter is one, and when he passed, you'll inherit his genius. No, that don't work like that. You know, you have to be taught and cultivated. Whosoever shall humble himself shall be exalted. You see? What if I hadn't humbled myself to the one that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad sent out there to have charge over me? To humble yourself, they don't just mean to listen when the person talking. It also means watch when you see them acting. You see? So I paid attention to the minister when he was teaching and to whoever was under him, his ministers. Minister Elmer, for instance, he was over the temple that I was at. I didn't go to the headquarters temple. I went over to the west side. That's where Brother Donald started me at, over on the west side. I know why now, but he started me over there trying to look out for me. And it worked. And so I was over at the west side under Minister Elmer, who was under the regional minister, which was Minister Abdul Karim. And so I learned a lot. I learned how to be a brother. And I also learned what could be done in your own community if you get in unity and start pooling your resources. You can build up and make your place where you live beautiful. Minister Abdul Karim showed us that by following what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad told him needed to be done.
Excuse me, something?
Yes.
I have 2 questions on that regarding the guest. What year? I don't know if I missed that earlier. Did Dr. Elijah Muhammad send Mr. Abdul Karim to the West Coast?
I think it was in 72. But it was probably the latter part of 72 because everything, you know, I thought that they had bought the Elks building in 72, but they didn't. He said he bought all of that stuff in 73. So he had just got out there when I came there. You see? So, you know, the messenger knew exactly what he was doing. And he put the right one there. And now all of this that we was talking about, that he was talking about was being done, wasn't none of that being done before he got out there. I'll tell you who probably can give us more information on it, and I'm gonna get him in here whenever he feels up to coming. Brother Bilal. I'm gonna Sister Lucille, you tell Brother Bilal I want to get him in here. If possible, I'd like him to come Sunday while it's fresh in our mind. I would like to interview him, and he can tell us about what where that when Minister Abdul Karim officially came here, because I know he would know. But I know in '73 was when the West Coast just took off, you know, and that's why the messenger said it looks like the sun is rising from the west. Well, yeah, that's you heard him bear me witness that the messenger did say that, and so so I'm going to try to get Brother Bilal in here Sunday. So Sister Lucille, Sister Naomi, tell your uncle I want to talk to him Sunday. Sister Lucille, you get on him too. And
Yes, sir.
all right. And may walaikum Allah salam. Y'all tell him, both of you get on him. And yes, sir.
I had a couple of questions. I know you just on TV for about 10 more minutes, but this may be questions the way the brother allowed this on the air, but let me just ask you these two more if I can. The next question was, prior to going out there, do you know whether or not, via and by way of private conversations or otherwise, if Minister Kareem had any business management or construction education or background?
Minister Abdul Karim, no, he was not a builder, but he was over some temples. He had 2 temples on the East Coast where he was. And the messenger told him that. You heard him say that. He said that the messenger said, well, brother, he said, well, you have 2 temples already. He said, what? And Minister Abdul Karim said that he had some student ministers who was very qualified and would be able to take them over. And the messenger said, oh, that's good. And then the messenger said to him, well, yes, well, then I'll send you. And that's when the messenger, when he looked at him and told him, he said, brother, you remind me of what it says in Isaiah. He said, when the Lord was looking for somebody to send, Isaiah said, Lord, here am I, send me. and the rest of them got kind of quiet when the messenger said that, But, yeah, But when he got out there, you see, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, he had a program that he gave instructions on how things should be set up. Minister Abdul Karim came out there and followed those instructions. He set up the temple, then Muhammad's University of Islam. Then it had your supermarket. It just had a whole breakdown of what should be done. And he came out there and started setting it up, bro. He followed the blueprint that the messenger gave him. Got brothers who was talented and knew how to do something. The bakery we had covered a whole city block. And it was 3 stories. I think it was 3 stories. It might have been 2 stories. It was a 2-story building. And I'm thinking it was 3 stories. It was 3-story building. And, big old warehouse. Had ovens in there, great big old ovens that rotated inside. And I remember brother, y'all met Brother Azam. He was named Brother Eugene. And he was over the bakery, and Brother Raymond, they were over the bakery. I worked there at the bakery for a while, driving the bakery truck. And man, we had it going on. And I remember one day I went in there and Mr. Kareem had his sleeves rolled up, and he was there making bean pies, showing him a new recipe for bean pies. And you know, he looked at me and smiled, and he just kept on working on it. And had a good bean pie too. And so I just we had, he showed us the practical application of what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad was trying to get us to do in the way of becoming an industrious people, rather than sitting around lazy, waiting on somebody to give us something. The messenger gave us a blueprint to get up and do for ourselves. And the minister, he followed that, you know. And him and those brothers that was there, I always admired all of them, you know. Even the captain, he had his issues, but I admired Captain Rashid, because he was stern. He was, he was not fearful. Him and Lieutenant Bartha, them brothers, they were, they, especially Bartha, Bartha was always, his name is Naeem Shaw now, but his, when he was the lieutenant, and he always had encouraging, kind, and thoughtful things to say. When I met him, he never was standoffish or a kind of person that you didn't want to be around. You like being around the brother, and he was a brother, and he would give his life for you. And and I knew that. Him, Brother Donald, and all them brothers, man, they was real brothers. And so, yes.
Like I say, as I said, I came to California when I was 5, and I remember as a little girl that we basically everything we did was going to the supermarket, home, and everything. And
yes, ma'am.
We didn't really need for anything. And so when I came to Davidson last year and went into the bakery and sat down, it was all of it just came rushing back. The little brothers and little sisters, that was me.
Yes, ma'am. So we are, like I said, I don't try to take credit for thinking this stuff up on my own. I'm just doing what I was taught. People try to, and can't nobody discourage me. Everything I'm doing, setting up the schools and all of the things that we doing, I've seen it done before. You can't tell me it can't be done. You can't tell me that black people can't unite, because I've seen it happen before. And we're going to do it again. And this time, it ain't going to fall. I know it's taking a little time. Yeah, it's going to take some time. But anything that's worthwhile takes time to bring into existence. America didn't just happen. The United States didn't just happen. It took time and sacrifice and hard work. And dedication. So it's since it's Friday, I'm not going to rush off. I know our time on the TV or whatnot may be going, but I'm going to talk with y'all a little bit because I need you to understand, as the book says in the 50th verse, it just reminds me of what Imam Hasan said when he was telling me that kings and queens inherit thrones. It's not so with gods. It's right here. It says, now this I say, brethren, this is the 50th verse of the 15th chapter of 1 Corinthians. Now this I say, brethren, that flesh and blood cannot inherit the kingdom of God. You cannot inherit wisdom and knowledge. Wouldn't it be nice if you could will your knowledge to somebody? It don't work like that. Neither doth corruption inherit incorruption. No, it don't work like that. You can't just get righteous off of what your mother or your father was. In order to achieve righteousness, you have to be willing to practice it and work at it yourself. Do you understand? Behold, this is also to show you that you didn't inherit wickedness either. The only reason you are wicked is because if your parents was wicked, you decided to let them put that in you too. And you decided to be that way. Do you understand? You ain't just inherently wicked. No. You chose that when you allowed it to go into your brain and you liked it. Huh? Okay. Behold, I show you a mystery. We shall not all sleep, but we shall all be changed. The man of sin, he has not been asleep. You and I have been asleep. He's been the prince of darkness. Do you understand? He's been wide awake. Surely he sees you, he as well as his hosts, from whence you see them not. A man that sleep don't see nothing, but a man who ain't sleep while you sleeping, he see you from whence you don't see him. Is that right? We shall not all sleep, but we shall all be changed. See, I'm here offering salvation to everybody now. Those who were asleep and those who were not asleep. Huh? I'm the Lord of the living and the dead. In this sense, those who are knowledgeable and those who are ignorant, I'm the Lord of all. And I can give you life. Those who are ignorant, I can give you enlightenment. Those who are half enlightened, I can finish your enlightenment. Do you understand? Then it says, behold, I show you a mystery. We shall not all sleep, but we shall all be changed. In a moment, in the twinkling of an eye, at the last trump. For the trumpet shall sound, and the dead shall be raised incorruptible. You notice, I told you, if you listen to me, I will give you a mind that no one will ever be able to mislead you again. How you know that's true? I mean, I'll just stand up here and say that. But where's your proof of it? How come you don't say, where's your proof of that, man? That's not going to offend me. You know, if someone tell you something that's really true, why should they get offended if you ask them, how you going to do that? Huh? Because even if they don't ask, most of the time they thinking it. I remember when Abraham was puzzled, and he asked Allah, how you give life to the dead? He said, how you going to do that? And Allah asked him, he said, you disbelieve? Abraham said, no. He said, but that my heart might be at rest, at ease about it. It's just been troubling me. I just don't want to figure out how you do that. So Allah answered him according to the way Abraham asked the question. So Allah told him, he said, take 4 birds and tame them to thy words. Now, place a part of them atop of every mountain. He said, now, call them, and they will come to thee flying. You see? Abraham didn't ask no more questions, so obviously Abraham understood the answer. But if Abraham asked the question and then had another question, then he would have not been up to the question he was asking. Tell me something. Is an airplane that don't have but one wing an airplane? Is an airplane that does not have but a wing on one side of it, is it an airplane? I don't hear you. How is it an airplane if it's not complete? That's not an airplane. Proof of it, he can't fly. I didn't hear you. See, you got to think. So it's not an airplane unless it's complete. I didn't hear you. Well, then Abraham understood, obviously, the question he asked. He just didn't understand part of it, and the part of how you give life to it. What do you mean by that? Because if you take them 4 birds and you chop them all up into little pieces, they ain't birds no more. Well, are they? Okay. Well, if he said, take 4 birds and tame them teach them to incline to you, tame them to your words, and place a part of them. Well, how many birds was it? Well, what is one part of them? Huh? 1 bird per mountain, huh? And he said, now call them. Since you done taught them to hear your words, when you call them, you giving them life. They sitting there until you call them. Is that right? Ah, there you go. Just like I'm calling you now. After all these centuries that you done had the Holy Scriptures, you ought to recognize my voice by now. I didn't hear you. Yeah, all right. Now, it says, so in a moment and in the twinkling of an eye, you're going to be changed. It says, at the last trump. You notice, you call in BitWiz, every messenger of God is the head of every human being. Well, who was the first messenger of God? The first messenger of God was the one that we call God. The message that was in his mouth was the truth. The truth was with God. Well, I am the first and the last. Well, now the last one that the word is with is God. At the last trump. You know, the last, I mean, when you done played bid wish, you know you always have trump cards, but it's always one last trump out there somewhere. Is that right? Well, I'm the last one. That's why ain't nobody got nothing to say to me. I mean, you can get mad, but you ain't got no argument for me. That's how I'm proving to you that I can give you a mind that's incorruptible. Because in order for someone to corrupt you, they got to be able to talk with you and argue with you and put you in a position where you can't figure out how to overcome them. But you don't hear nobody arguing with me. So if I give you the knowledge that I have that prevents people from being able to corrupt me, well, what does that make you? So the dead shall be raised incorruptible. And we shall be changed. And for this, corruptible must put on incorruption. If somebody give you some clothes, what they expect you to do with them? Put them on. O children of Adam, we have indeed sent down to you clothing to cover your shame. Clothing that covers your shameful deeds and actions. Clothing that makes you beautiful. That gives you beautiful attributes. And clothing that will guard you against evil. And the clothing we sent down is the best. How you know this is the best religion that's being offered to you right now? There ain't no other religions challenging me. I didn't hear you. Come in here and apprise me. Inform me of your religion. The scripture teaches you that whoever seeks a religion other than Islam, it's not going to be accepted from you. Do you hear anybody out there offering an objection to what I'm teaching? What is your objection? Let me hear it. Since this is the day of judgment, we got to hear objections. You don't go to court and don't hear no objection. Huh? If you got any objections, let me hear it. Yes, sir. I could go on and on and on and on and on. So it says, now, in order for you to be changed, this corruptible mind that presently exists must put on incorruption. Huh? The Bible says it in Ephesians, it says, put on the whole armor of God. Huh? It's not enough to just quote the scriptures. Just Just because you can quote the Holy Quran or quote the Holy Bible forwards and backwards, that ain't the whole thing. You got to have the understanding of where the truth of what's meant by what's said is hidden in those books. And I'm the only one that Allah gave the hidden manna to. That's why you notice everything I read to you it explains what was read that you read and didn't understand. Huh? Yes. This is the last trump. The last trumpet. When the seventh angel shall begin to sound, the mystery of God shall be finished. There ain't gonna be no more mystery now. Huh? I told you're gonna wake up one day and realize that it ain't me that's been wrong. It's you. And it says, so when this corruptible shall have put on incorruption, when this corruptible mind shall have put on incorruption, and this mortal shall have put on immortality, heaven and earth shall pass away, but my word shall not pass away. Then my word is immortal. You got to put it on your mind. Huh? When this mortal shall have put on immortality, then shall be brought to pass the saying that is written, death is swallowed up in victory, like the earth is swallowed up inside of the atmosphere. And so life on the earth is eternal. I didn't hear you? From generation to generation, huh? Yeah. It says, and as long as that atmosphere engulfs the earth, life continues. Huh? And as long as the word of God is foremost in your mind, no one can deceive you, and ignorance cannot overcome you. And I'm not telling you you'll know everything. I'm telling you that the things that you don't know, you will know how to find out. And once you know how to find out what you don't know, can't nobody deceive you anymore. There's ways to find out if a person is lying to you. All you have to do is know what questions to ask. Pay attention. And deceivers will stay out of your face. A liar won't even want to come tarry in your sight. The minute you start asking them questions, he's going to know that it jig is up. Huh? Because you ask him, oh, you want me to believe it just because you said it? When did you become God? Allah's the only one that can get away with telling me to believe it because he said it. Because he got a proven track record. But everybody else, explain it to me. Is that right? Yeah. It said, so when this corruptible shall have put on incorruption, and this mortal shall have put on immortality, then shall be brought to pass the saying that is written, death is swallowed up in victory. O death, ignorance, where is thy sting? Because instead of acting on ignorance, I've learned that when you don't know, time to stop your motion and seek and find out before you continue. We used to, when we didn't know, we wing it. We don't do that no more, right? And so, as a matter of fact, that's just, the sting of death. It says, oh, death, where's your sting? Oh, grave, where's your victory? The sting of death is sin. Sin is transgressing the commandments of God. Now, understand something. You were told, don't trust your own understanding. You were told to trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not to your own understanding. All of you who have been trying to do that trust in me, you found that your life has become much more peaceful when you check with me before you go do something. Huh? So the rest of you keep bumping your head because you don't acknowledge me. That's why you keep on getting in trouble. I'm put here to guide humanity because I'm the head of Christ. The messengers of God are the body that is called Christ. They all informed you that their Lord and your Lord was coming. Allah ordered all of them that when he said, I'm going to create a mortal of sounding clay of black mud fashioned into shape. If he said, I'm going to create a mortal, then he's letting you know it's going to be another man, a mortal. But when he put on immortality, you fall down making obeisance to him. I didn't hear you. Who out there think they have an argument for me? Let me hear it. So you see, man saying, but 65 people viewing us online. But he got to come in there and stop us from showing 65 people a couple of clips from Star Trek. And he got all them clips on there already. Now you see why he need to be punished? All right then. Okay. Tell you what. Pretty soon, they're going to be in a position where their stuff ain't going to matter, ain't going to mean nothing. I'll fix them. You mark my words. Brother Michael, I want you to write the owners of these stations that own that stuff. Get letters from them saying it's okay for me to use their clips from their movies to share knowledge with people. So you do what you have to do. I'm gonna put a stop to all these fools out here. You would think that I know the writers and the people who put that stuff out there, if they didn't want you to see what was on there, they wouldn't have made the movie. Uh-huh. You see? So here I'm giving these people credit for having a little wisdom. Are you mad because I got something out of what you did? Then what'd you put it out there for if you didn't want me to get nothing out of it? Maybe I got more out of it than he thought was in there, huh? You know, it's like somebody when they sell you some property and find out it's oil on that and they want it back. They thought they sold you something that was worthless. You can't give me nothing that's worthless. I can pull gold out of anything because wisdom is everywhere and in everything. You ain't stopping nothing. Anyway, we still got 65 or it's done dropped. 63? Okay. So we you know, it's amazing to me how, you know, they know you follows crowds. So when you come to it and find, hey, but 63 people, and then they don't realize all that is proving what the scripture says. Straight is the gate and narrow is the way that leads to life, and few there be that finds it. There's people all over the earth viewing us on the internet. And he's saying with 63 people watching us. anyway, just you know, I look at them and you know, I say, well, gonna be my turn to serve on that pretty soon. Oh man, I got a pretty good ace too. You know how they do them ping pong? Not ping pong, tennis. The serve keep changing. You know. See, you notice I'm already. Every time I'm on here now and I'm serving, they can't hit nothing back. They say something to me, I got plenty return on that. They ain't got no return for me. All I can do is sit there and get mad. You know, soon the only one ain't gonna be mad at is his crazy self. Anyway, the 57th verse says, "But thanks be to God, which giveth us the victory through our Lord and what? And his Christ." Huh? How am I giving you the victory? You're being given the victory by the truth that I'm sharing with you that shuts the mouth of the whole wicked world. Huh? And if it ain't shutting their mouth, how come you don't hear nothing I'm doing? They ain't typing, and he ain't coming in here to open his mouth to argue with me. Now, what that tell you? I can't even provoke them no more. I be trying to provoke them to say something. You know, a lot of times people be sitting there steaming and you keep talking and you pretty soon and say, I got to say something. I can't even provoke them no more. I know they be mad at me for saying these things. But can't even get no argument no more from nobody. Huh? Yeah. And even when they thought they was giving me an argument, You had to go way back to find somebody who was really arguing with me. That was when I was not completed. Allah was using them to help make me complete. But now, the world can't produce no argument against me. They be trying to figure out a question to ask me that I can't answer. They wish they could ask me a question that I can't answer. They ain't figured out yet. If you ask me a question I can't answer, I don't have to worry about it no way. Because I know more than you. And so you can't answer the question yourself. So it wouldn't make no difference what I said, because you wouldn't know if it was the right answer or not. So that's just stupid on your part to come in here, call yourself questioning me about something. I remember when I was in barber school, this boy asked me a question. White boy. He was one of the instructors. He heard me talking when I didn't have understanding. I shouldn't have been down there in that man's school preaching. But that was when I was younger. And so he said, you know so much. Tell everybody what was happening 2 billion years ago. So I looked at him. I said, the sun rose in the east and set in the west. The clouds gave rain. The grass grew. Cattle ate. And he looked at me and he ain't said nothing else to me about calling himself Coach Show Me Up no more. And he walked into that one. So, I teach you to be butting in where you ain't got no business. You ain't got no business coming in here after what you did to me and my people, all the lies you done told us. Got nerve enough to be coming in here trying to get upset because now I know the truth. No. You gotta shut your mouth. Well, anyway, he didn't say nothing else to me from that point on other than schoolwork, as far as calling himself stumping me. Allah gave me what to say to him. I can go further. You want me to keep going? He said that now. So, I'm not a person who just stand up and say something and don't have no justification for saying it. If I say it, I know why I said it. You see? So that's that. And then it says, therefore, my beloved brethren, be you steadfast, unmovable, always abounding in the work of the Lord. For as much as you know that your labor is not in vain, as long as it's in accord with what the Lord wants done. Huh? Y'all done found that to be true, haven't you? All right, then. So you ain't got no business letting nobody trip you up about following me. Everything I have you to do is not something that's vain. It's something that's going to wind up benefiting you. Yes. Let the disbelievers disbelieve. They should have gave me a chance and they chose not to. Okay? All right. They're in love with evil. Everyone that doeth evil hates the light, neither cometh to the light, lest his deeds should be reproved. But he that doeth the truth comes to the light, that his deeds may be made manifest, that he may be given what to do, so that when someone questions him about his deeds, he can say, the Lord told me to do this. That's what you always tell him. The Son of Man told me to do this. Is that right? Have that got you in trouble? I'll tell you who's going to get in trouble. Whoever try to interfere with you doing something I told you to do. Keep watching them. You'll see. Better leave you alone. All right. So, I'm going to let you go. We are half hour over. But I wanted you to hear this. And I wanted you to see that if I wanted to talk from now until this time tomorrow, you ain't going to hear nobody coming in here call themselves arguing with me. Arguing with me about what? I'm not a child anymore. And when I say not a child, I mean I'm not a child in understanding. But I'm always going to be the child of God. The light child. So may Allah bless us, keep us safe and in our right minds. May Allah's. Assalamu alaikum.